Shalom, family. Shalom to everybody in the chat. We're going to talk about gun ownership in America. You know, I've watched videos over the years of Black men and women that were gun owners and really felt like their rights were covered under the Second Amendment. But there are too many indicators, y'all, that they don't believe you have those rights. I want you to really think about this. Anytime a constitution has in there written that you are three-fifths of a man, do you really think they're going to let you have rights under the Second Amendment? It's the same damn constitution. And I think a lot of our people, when they're talking about, gun ownership, they talk about it almost like from a white man or white woman perspective in blackface. And now you got two in recent years, Philando Castile, who openly told the police he was a legal gun owner and he was trying to be all upfront about his gun ownership, and he got ambushed. He was murdered. And now you have Amir Locke. Also, his parents said he was very careful about being a gun owner. And the same thing, ladies and gentlemen, the same exact thing happened to him. I mean, what is going to wake our people up? When they talk about that Second Amendment, they're not talking about you. Oh, I got guns. I did it the right way. I got my. They're not talking about you. That's why you're still seeing Black men getting killed and they are legal gun owners. They don't, when it comes down to us, they don't care about following no constitutional laws. None of that applies to you. And they keep showing you, and you're not getting it. And to this day, you could look out here and see pretty recent videos. Oh, and you'll see Black men on the video talking about gun ownership and getting your license and yada yada. They're not talking about you. You should know by now. When they're talking about First Amendment and Second Amendment rights, they are talking about them. They ain't talking about your three-fifths of a human being behind. Okay, so what they pretty much said, you're not really a person. So these all of these amendments, they don't apply to you. Soon as they called us out of our damn face and said you're not even human, you think they're going to let you have rights even if you got something the right way? Look at what they do with prison. They go out of their way to target us and make sure we're the biggest group in prison. Does that sound like they're following the Constitution? No, they're not. Look at how many are sitting in there that didn't even commit a crime. That's why I don't be listening to them when the Black people are violent. Well, you putting a bunch of damn people in there that didn't commit a crime and aren't violent. No, 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 no. You don't get to come and talk to me about violence and you got all these innocent people being exonerated every damn day after sitting in there for decades. You don't get to come and have that conversation with me. Not now, not ever. But I think this should be a wake-up call after Amira Locke was killed. You saw they used that same thing they used on Breonna Taylor, that no-knock warrant, which I don't think should exist at all. This is just an excuse. If the person on the other side of that door got a weapon and try to retaliate, you'll use that as an excuse for jailing them, or in the case of Amir Locke, killing them. And I heard what his parents said, how he was very careful. He wanted a gun. He wanted to do it the right way. Okay, he did it the right way. He did everything the right way. And when I watched the press conference, He has several family members that are cops, and they still wiped his butt out. They didn't care. See, when these cops come around us, they're not trying to find out if you're a legal gun owner. Are you for real? They're not trying to find that out if you're a black man. They'll just blow you away and find all of that out later. When have we ever seen video footage of a police officer and the first thing out of his mouth is, are you a legal gun owner? They don't ask black men that question. And you saw what happened to Philando Castile. He tried to be upfront about it. They don't care. If you're a black man, they are not going to give you Second Amendment rights. What they're supposed to do and what they do are two entirely different things. They don't care about your rights. And they've been showing us this forever now. And some of our people just are not getting it. You know, I'm at the point now, I can't even listen to those videos on our people sitting around with guns. Oh, I got my license, and I can't even listen to it. These folks don't care that you got a license. I mean, here is this young man, Amir Locke, got police officers in the family. They didn't take shit into consideration. They just saw a black man, and I can understand why he had the gun. He was by himself, sleeping on the sofa, wrapped up in a comforter. He didn't know who was in his house. Just like Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, he thought somebody was trying to break in. See, that's why those no-knock warrants are no good. But you see how slow they are to get rid of them, and probably don't want to get rid of it at all. To me, it's a way of entrapping you into doing something. You saw how they threw Kenneth Walker in jail and tried to put attempted murder of a cop on him until Judge Olu Stevens got him out of the whole thing. If that judge wasn't there, Kenneth Walker would probably be sitting in jail and accused of attempting to kill a cop. Did they care that he was a legal gun owner? No, they didn't. They didn't care that him and Breonna Taylor had those guns legally. So we got to get out of this mindset that because you did the right thing to get your gun, that this matters to these people. It will never matter to them. It will never matter. You can keep talking about that Second Amendment rights. They are talking about themselves. They're not talking about you. Just like I was telling y'all about freedom of speech. I got to go to fucking court to fight for my right to speak. And these folks will get on the soapbox and tell you about their right to speak, but at the same time, they're trying to topple you from having a voice. Because they already know and have been taught that Constitution don't apply to your black behind. It don't apply to you. And those of you on this, oh, you should stop calling us black. Do you think those cops care about whether you're called black or Hebrew or anything? They don't care. They gonna still smoke your ass. You gonna keep hearing black until this whole thing is over, whether you like it or not. You are. As long as we are stuck in this captivity, you will hear those words, whether you like it or not. So you can, oh, don't black, no, oh no, my God, the black. Well, you too bad. You're gonna keep hearing it. Our time is not done. And these folks are not going to treat you different If you tell them you're green with black stripes, they're not going to treat you any differently. They're going to go by their perception of what they see you as, and that's how you will get treated. And that's the way it's been for centuries. So you trying to change up what you are, it ain't gonna make no difference to these folks as long as you're stuck in their system. It's how they perceive you. And that's the way it's been all this time, how they perceive you. So gun ownership is good for defending yourself. But when it comes down to the law, you do not have those same protections under the law. All they see is a black man with a gun. That's all they see. They don't see your constitutional rights at all when they're dealing with you. You know how many times I've seen black men and women get arrested and they screaming, "I know my rights. I know my rights." Does that stop them from arresting you or killing you? No. No. But I do believe self-defense is a human right, and we all should protect ourselves. But if you are looking for the laws for protection, it ain't going to be there for you when it comes down to that Constitution. Not unless you go that next step into a court of law and challenge it. Then, in many cases, you can get it enforced. But if you're just an everyday person out here like Emir Locke and Philando Castile, they don't care about your rights. They see a black man with a gun, and to them, you are a threat. And they handle you like you are a threat. What is it that many of you say? We are at war. And that's how they treat it. They're at war with you. So what are they trying to find out if you got some legal gun or not? They don't care. Carlette, thank you so much. Let me see what you said. Thank you for keeping it real and raw. Now California is taking black veteran guns for having PTSD, as myself with blanket search warrants. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. You know what the irony is? These folks always talking about their guns getting taken away. But really, their guns don't get taken away like black men and women guns get taken away. Let's be real. It don't. And if you remember, they would come on the streets and have these drives in the black neighborhood to get guns away from people. But a lot of folks started complaining because they were saying, well, why don't you go to the white neighborhood and have these same drives? And they didn't for many years. They would just do that in the black community, but not anywhere else. And they were showing you even then, it's okay for all these other communities to have guns, but you shouldn't have one. So we're going to have a drive. You bring your gun, we'll give you $100. You bring your gun, we'll give you a gift certificate. You bring your gun, we'll give you a pass to some movies. That's how they would do it. Okay, but they didn't do that with everybody. No, I mean, that's true, Lady D. They never want us to protect ourselves. They don't want, if they could wipe out every gun in the black community, they would. They don't even like the few that are out there. But I just think we need to face the reality. I mean, if you get encountered by a police officer and you got a gun, but you're legal, they're going to shoot you dead regardless. They're not going to care that you have some gun. and it's legal, there's a reason why they're not even asking you those questions. And the funny part is if you go to an open carry state, they don't even flinch an eye at these white men and women walking around with their guns, but as soon as they see you, oh man, it's almost like everything just goes into a complete panic. And that ain't nothing but guilt. That's nothing but guilt. That's all that is. That's what that reaction is. It's guilt. They're afraid you're going to turn around and do to them what they've been doing to us all this time. And then they play when we get upset, then they play that psychological game on us. Oh, we're all the same. I stopped paying attention to that years ago. If you don't see us out here being treated all the same, then damn it, we're not the same. And you need to get out of everybody's face with that because at this point, you ain't fooling no damn body with that. Okay, psychologically, you think that's working. It might have worked for a split second, but many of us that know what's going on, all that, we're all the same. That mess, get out of here with that crap. If we don't see we're being treated all the same, then obviously we're not the same. Please get out of here with that crap. Oh, yeah, I've seen them out and about with those guns. I have. Especially when we used to go down south and travel, we would see that. Mhm. Shirley Salone, you said this could happen to any of us next. I told my daughter this could happen to me if they make a mistake or kick in my door. I'm pulling mine out and I'll be killed. Yeah, I mean, surely there's a lot of us that don't want to go out. If we do go out, we're going down with a fight. That's how a lot of us are. But the bottom line is, y'all, don't think a Second Amendment is going to protect you. They are showing you over and over it's not when it's you. Um, Charlotte, is that straw can or Chan? You probably pronounce the H. Sacramento City PD assaulted me while in hell. Oh my goodness. Well, that is horrible. They assaulted you in handcuffs and called the Blue Clan Brigade to beat a black woman that did not commit a crime. You know what? I believe that. I did a story just 2 days ago of black women that went out Christmas shopping at Old Navy, and they were accused by a a sales associate of stealing. Even on the surveillance camera, it did not show them stealing. The cop examined their bags and looked in everything, couldn't find nothing stolen. Do you know, instead of letting these women go, these 2 black women ended up behind bars, and they didn't even have a cause or reason for putting them there, and it's just another example of them not caring about what the laws are and just treating you any old kind of way. They don't care. And thank you both for the super chat. They don't care. That's the bottom line. I just don't know what to say to our people that are still in this state of mind that getting a gun and they're going to be viewed the same way under the Second Amendment. I just think that you're very misguided if you think that. It may, in the scheme of things, it should be that way. But the reality is not showing us that. It's showing us the complete opposite. Yeah. Years ago, I had a friend, and there was a police officer in one of the neighboring towns that kept messing with him. Like every time he saw his car or saw him driving past, this cop kept messing with him. So one day he arrested him. Do you know when they got him in the room, to interrogate him, he said there were 3 cops in the room, and the one cop that kept messing with him took his handcuffs off and told him, come on, let's go." Like, fight him in this closed room with him, the cop that kept messing with him, and 3 other cops. He called him out for a brawl in a closed room with a total of 4 cops in it. That's what he did to him. And he said to me, he made it out alive. He said to me, "If it was just me and him, I probably would have whooped his ass. But he did this." See, that was a cowardly move, y'all. He did this with 3 other cops in the room with him, and they locked the door and everything. They locked the door and everything. You know damn well if that fight would have broke out, they would have killed him. And he knew it too. He knew it too. But see, it's no telling how many of our men have gone through things like that, and we just never heard about it. I didn't even know those cops were doing that until he himself told me. We were just having a conversation and he told me about that. Okay, Charlotte, thank you for the super chat. Lisa, this is nothing but punishment for our existence. They are using the Blue Klan Brigade against us. I wrote the DOJ and the VA in Washington, D.C. Yeah, you're right. I agree with that. And thank you for the super chat. Mhm. I think they would have beat him to death up in that room. And that's what I think, that he was trying to egg him on. And the moment he took a swing on that cop, I think they would have all pounced on him and killed him. I really do. I don't think they would have shot him, but I think they would probably have beaten him to death. And he didn't fall for it. And he told the cop, he said, "I'm not going to hit you first." He said, "Because I know what's going to happen. Look at all these cops in the room with me." So he said he just stood there. And I think after a while, when the cop realized he wasn't going to do anything, he just let him go. He'd had no cause or reason for arresting him anyway. He just had an axe to grind with him. He just determined this is a black guy he didn't like. But technically, he didn't do anything. And y'all, just like those hangings in jail, I don't believe those are all suicide. I really don't. I don't believe all those. When every now and then we'll hear about an inmate getting killed, I don't believe those are all suicides. I never did, and I never will. Just like the ones that we every now and then will make the news because they'll see a black man hanging, and then everything is labeled a suicide. And do you know it's still labeled a suicide even in prison? All of these are suicides. I don't believe that. And I don't believe it whether it's happening on the outside or the inside. I don't believe it. I'm just telling you, I don't believe it. Mhm. Right. I mean, I'm with you on that, Michelle Harvey, because look, the history of black men being hung in this country, why would that be a first choice for a black man? It would be just too easy to get a gun, and that would be the quickest way. Shoot, even taking a bottle of pills would be an easier way than hanging yourself. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, and it's always and I just don't understand how you show up at the scene. The body has not gone to the medical examiner. There is no physical evidence other than the person up in the tree, but you determine it's all a suicide right there on the spot. I mean, that's very telling right there. It's very telling. Something happened and they're going to make sure nobody gets punished. It's a suicide. We say it's a suicide, nobody gets punished. No investigation is done. Everybody can go home and pet their dog and sit home with the family. Mhm. But yeah, so that's all I want to say. I think we have to stop harping on this second amendment like it protects us. Remember, you are in this place. You are not in a place where things are done in a righteous way. You are in a place where things are done out of pure evil. You are. These folks don't care whether they follow a law or not, but they want to get in your face talking about the rules. That's why I don't let them do that to me. Even when I was on jobs, when they would get up talking about the rules, I would get up and leave. I'm not going to entertain that because you know damn well you don't follow no rules and you ain't going to be patronizing me up in my face. Like I said, that do as I say, not as I do, that shit don't work. Because the moment you turn your back, that very thing you told someone not to do, they're going to do it. Okay, that is human nature. That is the way it is. They are going to do exactly what you told them not to do. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, you know. So y'all just be careful out there and just know, if you got a son or daughter or you yourself or you got a husband, a wife, and they are gun owners, just be careful because they're not going to view you as a legitimate gun owner. You're just a threat, whether you're legal or you got a gun illegally. You look all the same to them, a threat, plain and simple. And they're not going to see you any other way in this society. They're never going to see you any other way. Hmm. Oh, no, 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 no. Thunder, listen to me. I'm not telling anybody not to own a gun. I'm just telling you when you are in an encounter with these folks and they see you with a gun, to them, you're always illegal, even if you are a legal gun carrier. In their eyes, you're always that black man and you shouldn't have that gun. That's how they're going to always view you when it comes down to this place. But yeah, if you got guns and you're going to protect yourself and your family, so be it. But I'm just saying when you can clearly see when you are encountering the police, just like Philando Castile and Amir Locke, and you legally got that gun, they completely disregard it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you if you have a weapon to get rid of it. I would never say that to anybody. But I'm just saying their perception of the situation is you're a black man and you ain't supposed to have that gun. That's how they see it. So they have to eliminate the threat. And that's why those two men ended up dead. Hmm. Everything is very different for us. And we ain't all no damn same. So don't fall for that. We are treated very differently, and we got a whole history behind us that proves it. Despite the fact that they're now trying to bury history as if we're supposed to stand around and have amnesia about what has happened over the last 500 years. I ain't doing that for them. Not now, not ever. I'm never doing that for them. Mhm. Well, yeah, one thing, Michelle Harvey, when I was growing up, that was one thing my mother never allowed me to go to sleepovers because she was like, I don't know who's at that house. It can be their brother, a cousin, an uncle, their father, or somebody there that will try to do things to children. If you're there and I'm here and I'm not around, I can't protect you. So I was never the whole time I was growing up, I could never go to a sleepover. I would, be around classmates and they would be tall. "Oh, we slept over. You should have been there." And no, 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 no. And after a while, when I really understood why my mother did not want me to go, I was fine. And see, it always puts me in reminder of that, ladies and gentlemen, when these stories come out of black children or black adults that will go off with them, and you're the only black person there and that only black person ends up dead. It reminds me of that, and it was always a reminder, okay, this is what my mother was talking about. This is what she was talking about. And I don't care how offensive it is. We got to teach each other, you don't go anywhere and be some only black person there. You got to stop doing that mess. We are way too far at this game for our people to still be this naive. You got to stop doing that. It's not in your best interest to do these things. That's why we keep seeing the same thing play out over and over. Please, we got to get into teaching this to our children. And it's something they have to carry throughout their life. Childhood all the way through adulthood. You don't go nowhere and be some only black person. Yeah. Yeah, he went on a hunting trip, Autobot, and he was the one that was hunted. Mm-mm. No. We got to stop letting our children, and even as adults, we got to stop doing that kind of stuff. I mean, we got way too many examples of what happens. I remember I did a story, and it was this was just a few years ago. It was a young man. He went out on a boat trip with his friends, and he was the only one that went overboard. And when the police were questioning what happened, every one of them gave a different account of what happened, and nobody got arrested. Nobody got arrested, but he went overboard, and he was the only black person there. That's why I'm saying, uh-uh. No, 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 no. We should know better by now. No, that's one thing my mother did not do sleepover, and she wouldn't host one either. She would not host a sleepover or chaperone and do all that stuff. She wouldn't do. She'd had no part of it. Yeah, you're right, Ken Shabazz. You're absolutely right about that. About Dred Scott. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. All right, y'all. That's all I wanted to talk about because we're just seeing this, and it really hurts to see a young man, 22 years old, gone over a bunch of stuff that didn't even pertain to him. He was never even the intended target, but he was the one killed. And we know how this whole thing gonna play out. They're probably going to go to court because he died, and you know how they are. If they can get away with saying it was justified, they're going to try to say it was justified, and then the family will get x amount of dollars, and then we will never hear another thing. That's usually how the whole thing plays out in this system. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, well, Michelle Harvey, you know what? I don't take their word for nothing. And he can't even, the Jamaican guy can't even defend himself. So no, their word ain't golden to me. So it is golden to someone else. It's not golden to me. So y'all, please enjoy the rest of your day. One thing is nice, it's pretty mild in my state, and by Saturday I think we're going to be in the 60s. So it's well above normal for February, but that's okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. It's better than looking at some nor'easter. I'll take it any day. So, y'all, please enjoy the rest of your day. We'll come back together and do this again. And I know this very short month is Black History Month. I might dig out a few things to do over the next few weeks. So, y'all stay tuned for that. Shalom, family.